Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents The Chicken Chick's Guide to Backyard Chickens: Simple Steps for Healthy, Happy Hens by Shea Mormino, narrated by Shea Mormino. Publisher's note: this audiobook includes bonus material. Please visit Tantor.com and type The Chicken Chick's Guide to Backyard Chickens into the search box. Follow the link to the book's page, then, under the Supplemental Content section, please enter the access code COOP, and then click the Unlock button to access the bonus material. The code should be entered in all lowercase letters. All figures referenced in this audiobook can be found in the bonus material. Introduction. In sharing with you my experiences in research and the results of my collaborations with poultry professionals, I hope to foster an appreciation for chickens as pets, to promote a better understanding of chickens' unique physical attributes and care requirements, and to empower you to keep chickens confidently. Most modern backyard chicken keepers were not raised with chickens in our yards. We didn't inherit the family chicken textbook from our forebears, but even if we did, advances in science and the intense study of poultry around the world in the past century would render obsolete much of what might have been passed down. I want to help you enjoy your pet chickens, worry less, better understand their needs, avoid common pitfalls, recognize problems, spend wisely, and know where to turn if you need professional help. Caring for these peculiar animals is a little less intuitive than cats or dogs. When we keep uncommon pets without access to experienced veterinarians, we find ourselves at the mercy of free information. As backyard chicken keeping has grown in popularity, so has a small industry willing to take your money in exchange for products and information of dubious benefit and safety. Healthy pet chickens do not need gimmicks or a steady supply of supplements, herbs, or additives to be healthy or to improve the quality of their eggs, their plumage, their immune systems, or their happiness. I want to help you become an educated consumer of chicken care information and products to protect your flock and your wallet. My hope is that you will ask questions and demand answers supported by evidence, and not allow buzzword-loaded rhetoric cloaked in feel-good terms like natural and herbal obscure common sense. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Chickens are best served by keeping their care simple. Provide them with a complete commercial feed, clean water in clean containers, plenty of clean, dry living space, and good biosecurity. I do not tackle the advantages and disadvantages of every flock management issue or predicament a chicken keeper might face. This is not a book about raising meat birds, showing chickens, or breeding flocks. It's not a how-to guide for starting a commercial poultry farm, a manual for commercial egg sales, or a handbook detailing every possible ghastly disease. Rather, my intention is to provide enough guidance to help you avoid painful learning curves and make informed decisions for your chickens. Where generalizations are made, I invite you to apply common sense to extrapolate the obvious exceptions. There are few hard and fast rules for correct methods. Along the way, you will find what works for you and change your tack as you become more knowledgeable and experienced. I hope that you experience years of enjoyment from your chickens' personalities, social interactions, and beauty, and that you will share your enthusiasm for them with friends and family. Maybe you'll even inspire a few new chickeneers along the way. Chapter 1. First things first. Why keep chickens? Frankly, why not keep chickens? Why must there be a statement of intent when it comes to raising chickens? Nobody ever asks, why keep a dog? Although there are many good reasons to keep chickens, There is certainly no deep philosophical rationale or altruistic objective required. Not only do chickens produce nutritious food and valuable garden fertilizer, but they also offer chemical-free pest control, educational opportunities, and the most unexpected benefit, a capacity to enrich the lives of their caretakers. Chickens are the new family dog. Fresh eggs from humanely raised hens. Home-raised hens living in spacious, clean conditions with access to fresh air and grass to graze produce eggs that are fresher, better tasting, and often more nutritious than their commercially farmed counterparts. Raising chickens also promotes the humane treatment of food-producing animals and a local, sustainable food system. Pets, companions, and therapy animals. Companionship, entertainment, stress reduction, and comic relief set today's chickens apart from our forebears' flocks. They are not relegated to the Sunday soup pot when they are injured any more than we would think to eat our dogs or cats. They are appreciated for their distinct personalities and their curious social interactions with each other. Pet chickens are routinely used as therapy animals for individuals with a wide array of emotional, physical, and other life challenges, as well as companion visitors to the elderly in health and retirement facilities. Education. Too many children suffer the illusions that eggs magically appear in cartons in the supermarket and chickens are nugget-shaped. Backyard chickens provide opportunities for children to understand where food comes from and contribute to its production. Watering, feeding, and egg collecting are all chores children can manage while experiencing valuable life lessons in responsibility, the circle of life, and compassion for animals. Organic gardeners and exterminators. Chickens are green pets. They eat a variety of weeds and problem insects, making backyards and water supplies safer than those where toxic insecticides and pesticides are applied. Given the opportunity, they gladly till, turn, aerate, and enrich gardens with homemade, nitrogen-rich fertilizer. Are chickens for me? Some people say keeping chickens is less work than raising a dog. Others claim it's a lot of work. Chicken care requires some lifting, shoveling, and cleaning, but these tasks can be made more efficient with consumer goods for backyard chickens and methods I will share in this book that have worked for me. I believe that when your hobby is chicken keeping, the necessary tasks you do because you love your pets don't feel burdensome. Most days, my most relaxing moments occur while I'm cleaning the chicken yard. Chickens do require attention several times a day. At a minimum, chickens need to be tended to in the morning and locked inside the coop at night. It can be difficult to find a competent chicken sitter. If you travel often, chickens are probably not the right pet for you. The costs of getting started and continuing with chicken keeping are as variable as the costs of transportation. You can walk, ride a bike, take the subway, buy a 1972 Chevy Nova, or purchase a Learjet. Chickens can drink out of mud puddles and survive on a woefully inadequate diet, but they will not be healthy, produce eggs well, or live long. I suggest constructing or purchasing the best coop, poultry nipple drinker, and treadle feeder you can as early in the process as possible. Compared with the less expensive alternatives, each product will save you money and time in the long run while keeping your chickens healthier. If you start with a small flock, the endeavor will be manageable and your flock can expand as you become comfortable with their needs and your routine and confident in your ability to handle any issues that arise. Chickens are rewarding, entertaining pets like no other. If you want to, and you're able to keep chickens, do it. Are chickens legal here? Before diving in, read your local zoning codes to determine whether chicken keeping is permitted on your property. You'd think that as a bar-admitted attorney in my state, I might have thought to read the zoning code in my farm town prior to getting my first chickens, but it never crossed my mind. My neighbor had kept 3 horses and a small flock of chickens on a lot the same size as ours, so it never occurred to me that keeping chickens might not be legal in our neighborhood. But it was. I had called the town clerk's office to ask whether a building permit was required to build a coop and was told it was not. But it was. Failing to read zoning codes and ordinances myself was a mistake. Misinformation from town employees doesn't help when a notice of violation from the zoning department arrives at the front door, which it did. Over a period of several years, I defended a lawsuit brought by the town attempting to force me to get rid of my chickens. Although I ultimately beat City Hall, the battle was costly. With the lawsuit in the rearview mirror, I charged ahead with efforts to legalize backyard chickens in my town, succeeding in spite of persistent political resistance. The rules that govern chicken keeping are different in every jurisdiction. Consult a local attorney who practices municipal law in your town, or, absent that luxury, read the zoning regulations and municipal codes that apply to your specific property, including health codes, noise ordinances, and roaming animal laws. Building officials and land record clerks are ordinarily happy to help residents determine their property zone and applicable regulations, but read the documents yourself. Things I wish I had known before I got chickens. In the hope of sparing some growing pains for those about to embark on chicken keeping, I asked my Facebook fans to help compile a list of things we wish we had known before getting our first chickens. Do your homework. Chickens are a commitment. They can live 8, 10, 15 years or longer. Don't assume that it's legal just because others in the neighborhood are doing it. Research permit requirements, flock limits, and rooster restrictions. Don't be afraid to petition local government to change the law. A hen does not necessarily lay an egg every day. Many factors play a role in this. Some you can influence, others not so much. When purchasing female chicks, remember that vent sexing is only 90% accurate. Have a plan for roosters that cannot be kept. Do it right the first time. Don't cut corners. Coop placement is important. Shade in the summer, dry location in rainy climates. People-friendly coops and runs are easier to clean and maintain. Install removable roosts and droppings boards for easier cleaning. Their habitat will never be complete. Buy or build a bigger coop than you think you need. Chicken math is real. Buy from a reputable National Poultry Improvement Plan, NPIP, certified breeder or hatchery, not an auction or swap. Chicken wire is not predator-proof. Use hardware cloth. A hen's most productive egg-laying years are her first 2. After that, production declines. Chicken scratch is not chicken feed. Chickens will take dust baths in the location you least want them to. Do not underestimate how much you will love them and how much they will change your life. You may wish you had gotten chickens years ago. And a personal favorite from Tiffany M., make sure they are signed up for the Chicken Chicks blog and like her on Facebook. If the zoning code is silent with respect to backyard chickens, do not assume you are allowed to keep chickens. Many zoning codes are permissive use regulations. In other words, if the code does not specifically state that you are allowed to keep chickens, you cannot. Look for a land use table within the document, a tip-off that it is a permissive use code. If chickens are permitted on your property, Additional issues to investigate include any limit on the number of chickens, rooster restrictions, permit requirements, waste management regulations, and coop location specifics such as setbacks from neighboring property lines, streets, or homes. In addition, most homeowner associations have bylaws that govern animal keeping. Be sure to read them. If you choose not to comply with regulations that prohibit keeping chickens, understand the potential consequences of getting busted and, in fairness to the chickens, have an exit strategy. Changing the law. If your jurisdiction does not permit chicken keeping and you'd like to pursue a change in the law, don't count on appealing to lawmakers' common sense. Our society has become so far removed from raising our own food that most have no idea what keeping a few chickens involves. Learn the lawmakers' backgrounds and biases. Attend a public hearing to observe personalities and protocols. And then prepare a strategy to debunk the usual misconceptions with persuasive evidence about housing, chicken behavior, and neighborhood impact. Understand the current law and its history, which will be important points of argument during hearings. Most families raised chickens in the early 20th century before zoning regulations existed in the United States, and those that didn't were encouraged by the U.S. government during World War I to keep chickens as a patriotic duty. Early 20th century lawmakers could not have anticipated a need to grant permission to raise small food-producing animals for personal use, and so most zoning codes, therefore, contain no provisions about chickens. Demonstrate how silly it is to micromanage pet chickens by gathering data to compare how dogs are regulated in your municipality and surrounding towns. Email animal control officials, police department administrators, and zoning enforcement officials requesting annual complaint statistics about barking and roaming dogs and any comparable chicken complaints. Lawmakers are typically receptive to public pressure. Encourage neighbors, local officials, news outlets, and animal advocacy groups to attend hearings and email officials. Social media is an invaluable tool for communicating with and inquiring supporters to attend hearings. Invite agriculture experts and university poultry extension service specialists to hearings to address lawmakers' concerns. Enforcement is a legitimate issue, one that usually falls within the jurisdiction of animal control, police, and health departments. Nuisance and health codes ordinarily address smell, noise, and other sanitation concerns. There will always be abuses of any standard, but a few bad actors should not give rise to regulations that micromanage pets. When you are finally ready to make your argument, present facts and statistics to deflate arguments the opposition always makes, and submit copies of supporting documents to each lawmaker during the meeting. Finally, dress appropriately. Don't wear t-shirts, ball caps, shorts, or overalls if you want to be taken seriously. Backyard chicken facts and myths. When arguing your case to lawmakers, take the wind out of the opposition's sails by dispelling commonly held misconceptions, which will be driven by emotion and fear. The facts will speak for themselves. Myth: chickens are dirty and smelly. Fact: chickens are clean animals that spend hours every day meticulously preening to maintain good hygiene. Chickens do not smell. Animal waste smells. When managed properly, no odors emanate from a chicken yard. 5 hens produce approximately 5 ounces of valuable garden fertilizer daily, compared to the average dog, which generates approximately 12 ounces of pathogenic, non-compostable feces a day. Myth: chickens hurt property values. Fact: there has never been evidence supporting this claim. In fact, the opposite has proven true. A review of a Forbes list of the top 10 U.S. housing markets appreciating in value showed all 10 permit chicken keeping. Most chickeneers take pride in their chicken yards, landscaping, and even decorating them for the holidays. Myth: chickens are noisy. Fact: hens are not ordinarily noisy, and roosters are no noisier than barking dogs. Barking dog at 1 yard equals 70 to 100 decibels. Lawnmower at 1 yard equals 107 decibels. Rooster at 1 yard equals 48 decibels. Intermittent daytime noises are a normal part of living in any community, and regulations should not discriminate against any species or gender within a species. Any noise concerns about rooster crowing should be addressed in the same manner as barking dog concerns are addressed. Myth: chickens require a lot of land. Fact: chickens require no acreage to be well kept. Residents of all major U.S. cities keep chickens with no acreage at all. The number of chickens that a family could responsibly raise in a backyard is much more than most families want to keep. Myth: chickens attract rodents and predators. Fact: wild animals and vermin reside in every neighborhood and are attracted to food sources, such as wild bird feeders and garbage cans. Chicken keepers spend a lot of money safeguarding their pets and their expensive feed from animals. Myth: chickens are kept only for egg production, so limits on flock size should be calculated by the number of eggs a family needs. Fact: chickens are kept as pets, therapy animals, hobby show birds, 4-H project animals, for egg color variations, and to preserve heritage breeds in danger of extinction. Most hens do not lay an egg every day. All hens are affected by seasonal lighting changes, stress, and age, peaking in productivity in their first 2 years of egg laying. Chicks hatched this spring may produce no eggs during autumn and winter of their 3rd year. There is no reasonable justification for placing arbitrary limits on head counts. It's expensive to keep pet chickens, and hen hoarding is not endemic to the backyard chicken keeping community. Chapter 2: Housing Essentials. Creating a healthy, comfortable home. So, you've determined that backyard chickens in your municipality are allowed. Maybe you even helped influence changes to local chicken keeping laws. You've consulted with family members and promised to handle the less glamorous chores. Now you can get your chickens, right? Wrong. First, you need a coop. The time to build or buy the coop is before the chickens arrive. Featherweight baby chicks will rapidly become dusty, poop-generating machines you'll want to evict from your house in a matter of weeks. Whether you're building or purchasing a chicken coop, certain features are essential for a high-functioning living space. Chickens do not care about whimsical decor, curb appeal, or the cost of their coop. The cost of a poorly designed coop can be sick chickens, behavioral problems, and overall frustration with what should be an enjoyable and rewarding experience. Any coop design will be tweaked along the way, but by keeping the important features in mind, you can avoid the major pitfalls. The coop. Size matters. Hear me now, believe me later. The coop should be at least twice the size you believe you'll need. Chickens explore their world with their beaks, and the closer they are to one another, the more likely they are to pick at an emerging pin feather or an insect on a flock mate's body, which can result in a minor skin wound that can become a life-threatening injury. Crowded chickens may also begin aggressively picking at each other to enforce their positions in the flock hierarchy. Additions are made to every flock sooner or later, so plan accordingly. Ideally, chickens will spend time inside the coop only to sleep and lay eggs. All other activities should occur outside. Allow at least 4 square feet per bird inside the coop. Free-range flocks can manage with a bit less indoor space because they spend most of their time outside. Confined flocks that reside primarily in an enclosed run, however, should be afforded as much space as possible. Location, location, location. When plotting the coop's location, imagine how difficult it will be to get to the coop to care for the flock in the worst weather. Consider the proximity of the coop to the closest water source and food storage area. In cold climates, shoveling snow, hauling water, carrying feed, and collecting eggs can be major burdens if the coop is difficult to reach. Anticipate weather-related challenges based on climate. In a rainy, wet climate, it's best to position the coop at the top of a sloped yard and avoid low-lying areas that can flood. In a hot climate, locate the coop in ample shade. Frigid winters, seek natural windbreaks to protect the flock from harsh winds. In areas that experience both very cold and very hot seasons, favor a shady location because it's more difficult for chickens to keep cool in the heat than to stay warm in the cold. Raising the coop a few feet off the ground creates valuable outdoor space underneath, providing shade in hot weather, a dry location in the rain, and a hiding spot for birds seeking solitude. Elevating the coop also protects the bottom from moisture and wood rot. Protect chickens underneath the coop with hardware cloth fencing all around. Chicken wire will not protect chickens from predators. Access. Every inch of the coop should be easily accessible to caretakers, both for ease of cleaning and for handling a sick or injured chicken in need of attention. To enter and exit the coop, chickens use a small pop door measuring approximately 12 inches wide by 14 inches tall that opens into the run. A ramp generally leads from the threshold down into the run. A second people-sized door leading into the coop provides access to human housekeepers and waitstaff. A third door leading from the yard into the chicken run should be tall enough for people to enter without incurring regular head injuries. Finally, an egg door allows eggs inside nest boxes to be accessible from outside the coop. Rachel recommends a spare key. Many a chicken keeper, including yours truly, has had the misfortune of locking themselves inside the coop or run. This invariably occurs when home alone and without a cell phone. Formulate a human escape plan before you need it. Roosts. Plan for 8 to 12 inches of roost space per bird inside the coop. Position roosts at least 12 inches from the nearest parallel wall, 18 inches from each other, and no more than 2 to 3 feet high unless a ladder or ramp is provided. Install roosts higher than nest boxes. Chickens instinctively seek roosts as high off the ground as possible, so if nest boxes are higher than the roosts, chickens will sleep and poop in the nest boxes, and eggs will be laid in an unsanitary environment. Roosts are commonly made from 2x4 lumber, which can be suspended with joist hangers for easy removal, cleaning, and periodic replacement. I don't believe it matters which side of a 2x4 faces up. Either way, chickens can cover their feet in cold weather. Tree branches approximately 3 inches wide are fine too. Closet dowel rods, PVC pipe, and similarly slick, narrow, cylindrical objects are inadvisable because they require more balance and can cause pressure points on the feet, leading to foot pad infections. Nest boxes. Hens prefer laying their eggs in dark, private places. The desire for privacy is likely an evolutionary adaptation resulting from the need to hide their potential offspring and hatch chicks from predators. Nest boxes inside the coop provide a good measure of security for laying hens, as well as a
Sample complete. Ready to continue?